Okay, so this is probably the most debated question in the entire black pill and red pill space. Does game actually matter, or is it all just looks? The pickup artist community has been selling the idea for decades that any man can get any woman if he just says the right things with the right energy, and the black pill community says that's the biggest lie ever told to average men, that women decide in 3 seconds based purely on your face, and everything after that is just noise. So today I'm going to settle this once and for all, and I'm going to give you an honest answer that neither side is going to be completely happy with. Let's get into it. So game in this context basically means social skills, charisma, confidence, wit. The ability to navigate an interaction with a woman in a way that creates attraction. The pickup artist movement peaked in the early 2000s with guys like Mystery and Neil Strauss convincing men that attraction was a learnable skill that anyone could master regardless of looks. And for a while, it worked, or at least appeared to work. But here's what nobody talked about. The guys teaching game were almost universally already decent looking, tall, decent bone structure, good frame. They were attributing their success to their techniques when in reality their looks were doing the heavy lifting and the techniques were just finishing the job. That distinction matters enormously. The black pill is correct about the most important thing. Looks set the floor. There's a threshold below which game is essentially irrelevant because the woman has already made her decision before you've said a single word. And there are actual documented experiments that prove this. Same script, same delivery, different faces, completely different results. An attractive man saying something objectively weird or awkward gets laughed off as quirky and charming. A sub-5 man saying the exact same thing gets labeled as creepy or threatening. The behavior is identical, the reception is completely different. That is not a game problem, that is a looks problem. And no amount of studying pickup techniques is going to bridge that gap for a guy who hasn't crossed the looks threshold first. But here's where the black pill overcorrects and gets it wrong. Game does matter, but only above a certain looks threshold. Once you're at average or above, meaning 5 to 5.5 and up in black pill terms, game becomes a real differentiator. Two guys who are both a 6 in looks, the one with better social skills, better conversational ability, better frame control is going to consistently outperform the one who has no game. Because at that level, looks get you the opportunity, but they don't close it. Clavicular is literally the proof of this. The guy went from regular to objectively above average through years of extreme Looksmaxxing. Walked Paris Fashion Week, had thousands of followers, got recognized everywhere, and then went outside post-surgery and still got snubbed on the street because the drugs that were carrying his confidence were gone. Looks opened every door. He still couldn't walk through them without the social skills to back it up. So here's the actual answer. Looks and game are not competing variables. They work on completely different parts of the interaction. Looks determine whether the interaction even happens. Game determines what you do with it once it does. If your looks are below threshold, game is cope. Full stop. If your looks are at or above average, game is a genuine multiplier that separates guys who convert opportunities from guys who waste them. The pickup artist community was wrong to say game overrides looks. The black pill community is wrong to say game is irrelevant above the looks threshold. The truth is, looks get you in the door and game decides what happens once you're inside. And if you don't have either, you need to figure out which one is holding you back more before you do anything else. So practically speaking, what do you do with this? First, be honest about where you are on the looks scale. If you're sub 5, game's not your problem right now. Looksmaxxing is your problem, get to average first, and then worry about social skills. If you're already at average or above and you're still getting nowhere, Your looks are not the bottleneck anymore. Your game is. That means getting out, doing volume, having real interactions, building the calibration that only comes from actually talking to people. Stop hiding behind the black pill as an excuse to never try. And stop hiding behind game as an excuse to never fix your fundamentals. Both matter, in that order. Looks first, game second. That's the honest answer nobody in either community wants to give you. So there it is. Game matters, but only after looks get you past the threshold. Below average looks game is cope. At or above average looks game is a real multiplier. Know which problem you actually have and fix that one first. Drop a comment telling me where you think the line is. Mike Small, not right. Is game ever enough to override a looks deficit, or is the black pill right that it's always looks first? I want to see that debate in the comments. Subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.